Greetings, students. This is Instructor E here, and what we're going to talk about today is Module 1. I know there may be some difficulties that you all are having dealing with these modules, so I'm going to do a walkthrough on, just I can't give you all the answers, but I can help you out with some of this. So that's what we're going to work on now. So I'm actually going to start this, at the beginning. If you can tell, I'm just here in module 1. Um, we'll look at activity 1. And 1-1 lines up with the activity that's in your book. So I'm going to go ahead and just download Autopsy because I'm going to need that. You need to make sure you check your system, that you meet all the requirements. So one of the things I say is look at the system information. And yeah, looks a little different because I'm running this in a virtual environment with VirtualBox. I don't like to share my actual computer when making videos, but you know, I will sometimes. So I can see that this is a 64-bit system here. Um, and when we look at the requirements for Autopsy, Autopsy needs a 64-bit system. Um, for this version. So I'm going to go ahead and download the 64-bit for Windows. So we're going to let that download. And there is another item that we're going to need for this class. Ooh, I forgot how big Autopsy is. So I may end up pausing this and coming back. But the other thing that we can start downloading that we're going to use Autopsy on is going to be Project 1-2. And if you notice, it says you have already downloaded Autopsy from Activity 1-1. Following this file you need for this project. So we're going to download that original project as well. And so I have those two downloads. Well, I don't. Okay, there go the other one. It's cooking now. I can see two up here. So those two are cooking. Um, or it's downloaded. Sometimes I say cooking for downloading. Um, those two are downloading right now, and you can find the information for this um, here in your textbook. Um, you could just actually click on any of these that has the Cengage to get to your textbook. So my internet speed on my VM is a bit limited, so it's taking a second to authenticate and pull that up. But you just got to be a little patient with some of this stuff, especially when you're doing downloads, because that's using a lot of your bandwidth. In fact, one thing I'll show you while we're sitting here waiting is you can actually check and see if you do the task manager here. A lot of people like to do control alt delete, and it'll take you here and you go to the task manager, which is here. But me personally, as IT professionals that we are, um, one of the ways that we can get to it is using Control Shift Escape, and that'll take you straight into the task manager. Click on more details, look at the performance, and we can see the Wi-Fi. It's running pretty slow actually for this. Um, and maybe that might be the one that I'm hooked up to that's causing that. So I'm gonna pause this video for a second while I check. I don't need to broadcast my names. All right, we're back. Um, I do accept all the cookies when I'm on this page, but the thing about it is your textbook should be able to get to your full textbook um, and pull that up. So I'm not even opening the live labs. Um, I'm going to open up the full book so that I can get again doing a 1 gig download, and that takes a lot of the bandwidth um, from running things. So we being a little patient, and I will pause this and get back to you in just a bit. You can see it starting to come up. All right, students, we are back. Um, well, I'm back. So, got the book, got everything downloaded. You can see all the downloads up here for the projects and all that good stuff. And the book is up. Now, one thing that I do when I'm using the book, it's just a little helpful hint, is, it's like super big. Um, so one thing that I will do, and it's like we got to go back and forth, especially when I'm searching for stuff, is that I will hold control and hit the minus button. I'm a keyboard shortcut person. Um, so that way I can make it all on one page. Um, but you can also achieve that through the zoom here. That's essentially what I'm doing is I'm just zooming in and out. Um, so for your like the case, going back here for the case project part, um, and stuff like that. Those are actually easy to get to from the book. You can actually click here and go into the module. This is your table of contents for the book. Of course, we're on module one. Um, if you look here, you can see everything laid out for this module, for this chapter. And where you can go to is module review. Well, if you saw it back, if I go back, um, which I do not recommend using the back button. Um, sorry about that. I thought I could use it. Don't use the back button. It's here. You can see the hands-on projects and the case projects. Now, for activities, activities are actually within the chapters. So you're going to have to read through until you get to that part. I've already found, save us some time, the activity 1-1, which is the installing autopsy. So when you look at the activity here, and on this, we can go ahead and zoom in a bit. You can see that activity says to download Autopsy here. Um, it tells you to create a work folder, and that's fine. You do want to create a work folder, but I'll go ahead and tell you now with me. Um, I have multiple classes. Again, this is in a VM, so I don't have all that in here. But I'll create a new folder and we can call it CIST 2612, right? So from there, we can create that work folder. Now, instead of just putting work, we have different activities. So I like to put like week 2 so I can separate out the assignments. And then I might put new. One of these is a software, um, autopsy. The other is which we could actually even, if you want to be even more granular, you could put activity. I use underscores. That's because I'm a Linux guy. 1-1, and then underscore software autopsy. If you want to really keep up with what stuff is, because you can go back and you can use this software. Um, then this folder is our. Let's see. I think that's hands on. Let me go back here. Go back to the content. Case project, no, project 1-2, which project 1-2 is where we're going to use autopsy to do some analysis. So I'm going to label that folder, pull that folder back up, project 1-2. So, and this just kind of helps to keep everything organized. And so we can go to our downloads, um, cut the autopsy out there, go back, and I'm hitting back because that's going to take me back to these folders and drop our autopsy in there. And then I can hit downloads again, the project 1-2, cut that, go back, um, make sure I'm in the right folder, and drop that in there. And we're ready to rock and roll with all our software downloads. Um, and we can go ahead and do our install for Autopsy. So I'm going to double click on the installer. And what you could do is you could pull up, people don't realize you can actually move these installers. And let's say I want to shrink this a little bit. I can get rid of system information. I can get rid of this page for Autopsy. And I could pull up my book over here. And it's going to show me all of the steps in order to install Autopsy. So, of course, it's going to have to create a program file. And it's just next, next, next install. There's nothing fancy here. But, I thought I would really show that. And of course, it's going to ask me for permission to do an install. So, of course, I'm going to give it permission. And pay attention because you actually have to record steps to put in your Dropbox for activity 1-1. So I want you to pay attention to that and hit finish. And then Autopsy created a desktop shortcut. We click on that. Now I'm not going to go through this whole activity. I just want to show you how to get this installed. It's that simple. And we can roll and rock and roll from there. Just make sure you follow the steps here to create a new case um, and all that good stuff when you are getting ready to submit this stuff. It has all of your information that you need to put in here there. So I'm going to allow access, of course, for Autopsy. I'm going to allow access to the Java platform. Then you're going to click on create a new case. And this, if you look, well, let me cancel that. I'll make this smaller first. So I closed that out. You're probably like, oh my God, what I do? I accidentally closed it out. Um, you can hit case here and hit new case, and that'll bring that up for you. And you can follow the steps here. If you could look, the screen is going to be exactly the same for this exercise. So I thought I'd go ahead and get you all started on this. I understand it can be tough. So, just make sure you follow steps. Um, and submit your items as you're supposed to um, for these assignments. Okay. All right. So this is instructor E. Hope that was helpful. Um, and that is it for today. And keep on with the analysis.